Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Callum, and today we're going to be talking about speakers. Now, I know enough about audio to know what sounds good and what sounds bad. Like this mic, for example. Probably doesn't sound very good, but it's all I have. Now, for about 8 years now, I've had the absolute pleasure of owning one of these. Wow. Now, I don't know what it is, nor do I care. However, what I do know is it was about £8 8 years ago, and it kind of sounds exactly the same as most really cheap knockoff speakers. So when you turn them on, they sound like this.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
And then when you try to play music through it, it sounds like this. Now, it's because of how absolutely awful that sounded that I bought one of these. Now, this is a Tribit/Tribit Stormbox 2, and it was about £62 when I got it new. It packs two 17-watt drivers, and it sounds pretty good with two proper passive radiators, one on the top, one on the bottom. But then that got me thinking, what if I tried to make this sound better? Now, in theory, that's not completely out of the realms of possibility. The passive radiators it had basically did nothing because the enclosure was not sealed in any way. And sure, the drivers aren't great, but surely they must have something that might sound enough. Maybe I could build a new enclosure for it that would mean that it uses the passive radiators properly to kick off a bit of the low end, and maybe they might sound better. And so take it apart is exactly what I did. Ta-da! So what we got here is back panel, front panel, passive radiator, speaker, and then buttons. Those said buttons, so you got your Facebook logo if you want it, and the volume buttons and power buttons. And then you've got the grills, which came off extremely easily, literally just with a screwdriver and a bit of prying, and they came straight off. Then we got the amp board, which, like quite a lot of these amp boards on these speakers, they've got a Type A, a jack, a micro USB, and a little SD card slot. Why they have that, I've got no idea. They just do. And then strangely, an LG battery. Now, the speaker is definitely not from LG, because this is the only LG branded thing here, and I don't think they'd want to be associated with this pile of crap. So whether this is just a battery they decided to use or whatever they found in the bin outside the warehouse, I've got no idea. But it's there. And then we got the drivers. Now, they're both quite small. However, after peeling away the residue on the back, we can safely see that this one is 3 watt at 4 ohms, which is helpful. And the passive radiators here, as you can see, are probably really bad, and they are a bit scuffed. At least one of them is quite scuffed, but they're fine, so we shall be reusing them. Now, begs the question, where do I start? So I went onto the old Amazon and searched 2 times 3 watt amplifier board and scrolled the options. After considering a few options, I went with this Dollartech one, which is a 5 plus 5 watt immersion gold stereo amp. And the key thing here is, as you can see, it runs at DC 5 volt. And when running at DC 5 volt,
At 4 ohms, it actually produces 3 watts, which is perfect. And after running some numbers, I worked out that my amp would draw a total of 1.33 amps. My maths was probably wrong, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. So I needed a power supply that could supply 5V DC at least that. So I decided to pick a headroom of about 3 amps just so that I'd had enough space that I wouldn't blow up my house. And after doing that, I selected some connectors for my speakers. And I went with these. eBoot 20 pairs, 22 org, JSD connector, 2-pin, blah blah blah, you get it. Now I did check, and 22 org is going to be fine because my speakers each will only take about 0.6 amps, and 22 org can take 1 to 1.5 amps, so it's perfectly fine there, and if it's not, then that's on me, and you can all blame me in the comments. Then I picked up some switches so that I'd easily be able to turn the board on and off instead of at the wall, and I picked up some 18 gauge wire just in case I needed something slightly beefier to power it, and that was shopping done. Just need to wait for everything to arrive. Package. Now hopefully this is the package I've been waiting for. We've got everything we need in here. Right, so 18 gauge cable. Put that to the side for a second. We've got, okay, so as you can see, Dollar Tech, that's going to be our amp. This, yep, AC adapter. So that's going to be our power supply. And we have the JST connectors, perfect. And one more thing, our switches. So that's a pile of stuff, and everything came. So that's pretty good. Let's start with the amplifier board because that's the one I'm most interested in. Oh my word, that is tiny. I'm hoping it comes with instructions. Well, yeah, of course it does. Hopefully we can just go from there, I guess. Let's have a look at the AC adapter. We indeed have AC adapter parts supplying 5 volts at 3 amps. Don't know if you can see it there. And we got all of the special connectors here. This is the one we need because, as you can see, it's got the 2 terminals. Come on, focus camera. There you go. 2 terminals on the end, and I'll plug it in there. So that's perfect. Now let's look at the switches. Cables we'll look at last because that's the least interesting bit. Many switches. They sound pretty good. Don't look too bad either. Let's get them all out because there's a specific colour I want to use. Red, that's perfect. There we go. Now, cables. Connectors are... Well, that's helpful. Got all of our connectors in here. I'm not going to get those all out because I'll never get them back in again. All we're going to need for now is this one. And then I need some input ones. Come on. There we go. An input. And an input. Perfect. And then this cable. Which will be for powering because plugging this terminal into the board, we're going to need a slightly high gauge wire just for a bit more safety. And of course, okay, that's not going to get out. I'm going to go get some scissors. Scissors. I've just realised the time. I'm going to get back to this tomorrow morning and we'll have a play around. It is the morning. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip all my blabber. Got everything laid out. And why do you have to make a noise? I'm gonna get straight to just wiring everything up. Not gonna solder yet, but just gonna wire everything up, make sure everything works. Right, everything should be wired up correctly. Hopefully nothing blows up. I do hope nothing blows up. That would be really bad if something does blow up. We're gonna see. Hopefully this all turns on right now. I have my MP3 player here so that we can have a test of something to play music with. Right, make sure I set the switch to off. I'm going to turn it off of the wall first before I plug it in. Okay. It should be on. With the switch. Yes! Power LED. I just realised I haven't got any non-copyright music on here. So I'll be right back with some non-copyright music. And we're back. I have some non-copyright music. So, amp on. I'm going to start playing. Come on. I can hear something. Yes! I'm quickly going to get something to rest on because they're a bit vibraty, and then we'll go again. Right, I've got a towel for them to sit on just so they don't vibrate around too much. They're not particularly loud. So, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to have to cut it short because YouTube only allows 15-minute videos for non-activated or whatever you want to call it accounts. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in part 2 where we actually put these inside of proper boxes and see if we can get these passive radiators going. And yeah, stay tuned for that. Goodbye!